Hi there, my name is Belinda Dovson and welcome to the Ching Cafe and our monthly overview for October 2020. So last month in September we had a locked hexagram. We had hexagram 4, youthful folly. And this was all asking us to pay attention to the learning and development that we need to go through. The areas of our life, of our business, where we think we have more expertise and we think we have more knowledge than we actually do. And so perhaps for you in the month of September, it became very apparent to you an area of new learning that had come in. And of course, the wonderful way of learning, the real way that we take in new learning, is to embrace it and to say, I make the assumption I know nothing, and let's start from that point of view. I once heard a story, I'm not sure if it's true, of Bruce Lee saying that in order to learn, we have to assume that the water in our glass is the problem. We have to empty out the glass and be willing to start again to put new knowledge and new learning back into the glass. And so I hope that for you in the month of September, there was an opportunity to empty out the glass, to make some space and to say, this is an area I need to learn. Let me find the help, support and guidance to go on this journey of learning and development. So October 2020, what awaits us? What are we being asked to pay attention to? Remembering also that in your own life, you will have your own flows of change, your own things that you have to go through. This is about, for us as a collective, what is the bigger theme we are all being asked to pay attention to in the month of October? And what's really interesting, if you cast your mind back to September, we had a particular weekly overview where we started with the hexagram 25, which is called Innocence. We had one changing line, and then our outcome hexagram was hexagram 12, Standstill. Well, I've got news for you. For some strange reason, we didn't learn enough about those cycles of change back in September. We have the exact same combination for the whole of October. And I can hear you go, oh, really, that standstill the whole month? So let's go into what this might mean for you. And I do encourage that you go back and you go and rewatch that episode, because I'm going to take those two hexagrams from a slightly different angle in this episode. Right, so our first hexagram is hexagram 25, Innocence, or the unexpected or disentangling. In the weekly episode, I spoke about this idea of the kitten getting into the knitting bag, into the ball of string or wool, and getting all tied up and convoluted in the strings that bind. And this hexagram is helping us to liberate ourselves from complexity and from convoluted thinking that traps us and controls us because we are trying to control the situation. So what I'd like to do in the monthly episode is talk about another way of thinking about this. We think about the innocence of a child, and in some way that's the reference point for the kitten in the wool. The innocent child who looks at every situation from a unique point of view. They look at it and they evaluate the situation based on what they're seeing in front of them. They're not putting a whole lot of story and a whole lot of metaphor and context and complexity onto a situation because they're looking at it with fresh eyes. And very often when you ask a child to look at a situation and give their input, they're seeing things that we just don't see because we have context. We see connections between things. We see, oh, when I did this last time, this is what happened. Therefore, when I do it this time, this is what's going to happen. And so we create that complexity around our thinking. And so in the month of October, what we're being called to pay attention to is to get back to that innocent, childlike way of looking at our situation, at looking at our world, our business, our team, from that view that doesn't have all the complex context attached to it, right? All the entanglement, that looks at the situation as it is with open, fresh eyes. And in order to do that, what we have to do is we have to get back to the heart, back to what's really in your gut, what's telling you what to do, that feeling that you know that you know that you know, your intuition, your instinct, your gut feel, whatever you want to call it. In the month of October, and particularly in the first few weeks, we are going to be called to tap into how we really feel about things, to act from the heart, to act from that innocent, childlike space, because unexpected blessings want to come to us. And if we approach those blessings with complexity and with attachment and with context, we lose the opportunity to see the blessing for what it is, to see the moment and to seize it. Now, in this month, we have one changing line, as we did for that weekly overview, in the first position. This will ripen round about the 15th of October, because there's only one changing line, so it breaks up the month into two steps of change. And this changing line, you can go back and watch or listen to the previous episode where we did the weekly, talks about the moment is here, the connection is open, the opportunity to create an unexpected connection, to have an unexpected blessing come, the door is open. And so we have to, in the month of October, particularly leading up to the 15th, have our eyes and our hearts open to an unexpected flow of change coming in to support us. In this particular flow, we think about just going with the flow, being open to things changing and just going with it, because unexpected things are trying to help us. And so that is what we're being called to pay attention to. And now our second hexagram is hexagram 12, Standstill. Yeah, not a great flow of change. And of course, I'm putting my judgment and context onto that, right? Standstill, if you can see from the structure of the hexagram, Earth is sinking, it's the bottom, and heaven is on the top, it's rising. So structurally, the hexagram is splitting apart like this. And it talks about being obstructed, exhausted, at a standstill, cut off, communication blocked, unheard, literally just the life force for a typical time, just kind of withdrawing from the situation. The heaven energy, the spirit energy is withdrawn out of the earth for a time. And it is a time period, it's not forever. So we will find, particularly in the second half of the month, that we're going to face some obstacles and obstruction. We're going to get a bit irritated and frustrated. We're going to be tested in understanding that sometimes it's not the time to act. Sometimes we just have to stand still and embrace the fact that we are in stagnation, that we have stopped, okay? Things have come to a stop. There's blocked energy, and we have to embrace and accept the fact that it's blocked, okay? Door closed, barred entry to us. So for you, what this might mean is a client saying no, or an employee deciding to part ways, or not hearing back on emails, or not hearing back from customers, or not hearing back from people that you care about, or things just being stuck and having to work with that particular situation. Just accepting it and going inwards, using the time to develop, to take time off, to rest, to recuperate, to do the things that are important to you, to go inwards and develop the self. This is not a time where we push out. It's a time where we pull our energy back in and we accept the standstill, and we say there will be a time when this will shift, and the path of development, the thing we are learning, our area of development, is in accepting and embracing the standstill. Good luck with the month. Really interesting flows. Weird that we got it a second time round. Obviously the first time round was warming us up. And here, the whole of October, here we are working with these flows of change. Thank you so much for being with me. I'd encourage you to join our daily stories on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. And of course, if you've not yet done so, go and enter the monthly I Ching giveaway. You'll find a link to this episode that'll guide you to how to enter and what that's all about. And of course, please subscribe, like, share, comment. You know what to do. Hit the thumbs up. And I'll see you again very, very soon.